to justify their removal, regardless of the fact that they entered legally with approved documents and after rigorous background checks. Just a little note about that. When someone is in the country for less than 2 years and lose legality, immediately they become subjects of something called expedited removal. And that's what they are trying to do with the beneficiaries of humanitarian parole. Defending humanitarian parole is not just a legal matter. It is a defense of the most basic values the United States claims to uphold: compassion, justice, human dignity, and the right to a better future. We are not giving up. We will see them in court, and we will keep fighting. Ahora lo voy a decir en español. Buenas tardes, soy Adely Ferro, cofundadora y directora ejecutiva del Venezuelan American Caucus. Podríamos estar aquí hablando de TPS, de las personas que entraron por CBP-1 de manera legal y obtuvieron una I-94, de las personas venezolanos enviados al SECOT, pero estamos hablando del parol humanitario, porque el ataque es en todos los frentes. El ataque no es a un beneficio, el ataque es a los inmigrantes, sin importar de qué país vienen. Y por eso ustedes están viendo este grupo de personas unidas, todas, más allá de nuestras diferencias y de nuestras diferentes culturas. Y cada vez vamos a ser más, peleando no solo en las calles, sino en las cortes y en el Congreso, y donde para que seamos escuchados en todos los rincones de este país. Porque aunque ellos quieren un país sin inmigrantes, Estados Unidos no existiría sin los inmigrantes, porque Estados Unidos es un país de inmigrantes. Creo que es importante dejar algo en claro. La decisión de la Corte Suprema es el resultado de una moción presentada por la administración Trump. Este fallo es una consecuencia directa de la decisión de esa administración de revocar el parol humanitario. Esta política no es solo un ataque contra la legalidad o la seguridad jurídica. Es un ataque contra la reunificación familiar y contra la esperanza de miles de personas que después de años de separación finalmente pudieron abrazar nuevamente a sus hijos, padres y hermanos. Gracias al parol humanitario, familias que habían sido fracturadas por la violencia, la represión o la pobreza extrema finalmente encontraron un camino para reconstruir sus vidas. Y ahora ese esfuerzo está en riesgo. Esta decisión amenaza con desgarrar los lazos familiares que apenas comenzaban a sanar. No se trata de un debate abstracto sobre política migratoria. Estamos hablando de niños que podrían volver a ser separados de sus padres, de trabajadores que ya están aportando a sus comunidades, de personas que huyeron del horror y que por fin encontraron un poco de estabilidad. Lo más alarmante es que esta ofensiva no va dirigida a quienes entraron al país de manera irregular ni a quienes violaron la ley. Está dirigida precisamente a quienes cumplieron con cada uno de los requisitos del sistema. Es en esencia una traición a la promesa de un proceso justo y humano. Además, es evidente que el objetivo final de esta política es despojar a estas personas de su estatus legal para convertirlas en blanco de deportación. Este ha sido, desde el principio, la verdadera intención de esta administración: empujar a la gente hacia la ilegalidad para luego justificar su expulsión sin importar que hayan ingresado de forma legal, con documentos aprobados y tras rigurosas verificaciones de antecedentes. La meta para los que tienen menos de 2 años en el país es dejarlos sin estatus legal para convertirlos en sujetos de una remoción expedita, que no tengan que pasar por las cortes y que puedan ser deportados para seguir cumpliendo las metas de las cuotas de la administración Trump. Defender el parol humanitario no es solo una cuestión legal, es defender los valores más fundamentales que Estados Unidos dice representar: la compasión, la justicia, la dignidad humana y el derecho a un futuro mejor. Pero no nos estamos rindiendo. Los veremos en las cortes y en las calles.
Thank you so much for your powerful words. Gracias por sus palabras muy fuertes. And we're so happy to be unified here. You're going to hear the words unity. And here at the Family Action Network movement, we have always been about unity. This space has been a space bringing people together. And we're so happy for the Family Action Network movement members, employees, and board members. And we'd like to give a special salute to our board member, Marilyn Lieberman, Chag Shavuot Sameach, of course. And we want to say thank you for all the role that you've played. So we're going to move it on to Yarelis Mendez Zamora. We have many is in the room. Yarelis, making a very important difference. Yarelis will speak about Nicaragua, one of the 4 countries of the CHNV program, and about much more. So from the American Friends Service Committee, we are very happy to say welcome to all of the AFSC people, as well as Yarelis. Yarelis, palabra suya.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Yarelis, and I serve as the Policy Coordinator for American Friends Service Committee. I'm also Nicaraguan, and I grew up seeing the contributions of my community in this state, and I am so proud to be Nicaraguan. The CHNV parole program was a recognition of the dire conditions in Nicaragua and allowed for Nicaraguan mothers, fathers, aunts, and other family members to be reunited after years of separation. I know that it allowed a grandmother in my community to meet her grandchild for the first time after a decade. People were fleeing for their lives, and now they find themselves in an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty. The parole program successfully created a legal pathway of migration. It saved the lives of thousands of individuals who now face deportation, even though they came through a legal process. This decision comes at a time when the Trump administration is breathing down the neck of DHS to speed up the rate of deportations, no matter the human cost, no matter how it will weaken the very principles that this country was built on. We are seeing violations of due process, disparate people being taken from the courts, and confusion. This is an order that will have vast and undeniable consequences in our communities. We are already seeing people disappear, and they will continue to disappear because of this order. Nicaraguans were the most unprotected of the CHNV program, with extremely limited ways to regularize their status. Nicaragua is always forgotten. It's always left behind because they say that we are a small, poor nation. And again, this program recognized the fact that we exist, recognized the fact that we needed protections. We have a story that also deserves to be told. Ahora lo voy a decir en español. Mi nombre es Yarelis y yo soy la coordinadora de política para AFSC. Soy hija de padres nicaragüenses y yo crecí aquí en la Florida viendo las contribuciones de mi comunidad. Yo soy orgullosa de ser nicaragüense. Nicaragua es un país que generalmente no se habla de, porque somos un país pequeño y pobre, y que varios piensan que nosotros no tenemos historia, pero sí las tenemos y estamos aquí. El programa de PRO creó una vía legal para los nicaragüenses y ahora otra vez nos quedamos sin protecciones. Nosotros somos la comunidad más vulnerable, especialmente porque no tenemos casi otras vías para poder regularizar nuestro estatus. El programa ayudó a madres, padres y familias nicas a ser reunidas después de años de separación. Esta decisión va a devastar a nuestras comunidades. Hay que reconocer que las condiciones en Nicaragua son brutales. También hay una dictadura, también hay represión. Y esta decisión viene a un tiempo donde la administración quiere apurar las deportaciones de nuestros familiares. A ellos no les importan que estas son nuestras mamás, nuestros papás. A ellos no les importa, hay que tener eso bien claro. No les importa que están machucando el debido proceso y los otros principios que este país supuestamente tiene. Hay que tener justicia. Gracias.
Yes.
Muchísimas gracias, Yarelis. Y tenemos que recordar que Nicaragua, como ella dijo, tiene una vulnerabilidad particular, porque la última redesignación de TPS de Nicaragua fue más de 20 años antes. Entonces, podemos comparar 3,000 nicaragüenses aquí ahora con TPS y vulnerable, no sé por cuánto tiempo, comparar esa cifra de 3,000 con los 300,000 personas nicaragüenses que pudieran aprovechar de una designación de TPS por Nicaragua, que infelizmente nunca ocurrió. Y tenemos que recordar eso. We are very happy to speak also about the 4th country in the CHNV quadrant, and that, of course, is Cuba. And we have some very, very, very special guests today from Cuba. We have Ana Sofia Peláez of the Miami Freedom Project, who also will be introducing a few of her close colleagues from the Cuban American Women Supporting Democracy. So please, the floor is yours, Señora Peláez.
Thank you all for being here. The U.S. Supreme Court allowed the Trump administration to end the CHMV humanitarian program, which had granted temporary legal status to over 530,000 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. This move affects many living in Florida and could lead to mass deportations, with the DHS providing only a 30-day wind-down period. Work permits and legal protections in the program will be revoked, leaving many migrants at risk of becoming undocumented. This is particularly the case for immigrants who have not applied for asylum, TPS, or another legal status. My name is Amaravati Peláez. I'm the executive director of Miami Freedom Project and the daughter of a Cuban who came here via Pedro Pan. Forcing Cubans who have applied and received parole to return to Cuba now would be a moral failure. The island is suffering under repressive dictatorship, where political dissent is met with imprisonment, tortured, and forced exile. Thousands of Cubans have been arrested for protesting, and the government continues to silence opposition through surveillance, harassment, and brutality. Meanwhile, the country is in the economic freefall with severe shortages of food, medicine, and basic necessities, pushing many to the brink of survival. The U.S. has historically been a beacon of refuge for those fleeing communist regimes. The Supreme Court ruling is a dangerous betrayal. It puts over 500,000 immigrants at immediate risk of deportation, detention, and family separation, people who built their lives here under legal protection. The court ignored legal precedent and human dignity, choosing to enable cruelty over justice. This ruling will be remembered as a disgraceful stain on our national conscience. As the proud Miami-born daughter and granddaughter of Cubans who found refuge in the early 1960s, I understand that each new wave of Cuban exile challenges us to find new ways to support and understand each other. Whether it was the freedom flights, Mariel, the rafter crisis of the 1990s, of those who have come since July 11th and via the CHNV program. What we have never denied each other was the opportunity to find a better life. To abandon Cubans seeking freedom now, as others have before them, would be a grave injustice. We cannot abandon them now. Now in Spanish. Buenos días, me llamo Amaravati Peláez, soy la directora ejecutiva de Miami Freedom Project y una hija de una refugiada del programa Pedro Pan. Obligar a los cubanos que han solicitado y recibido el parole humanitario a regresar a Cuba ahora sería un fracaso moral. La isla sufre una dictadura represiva, donde la disidencia política se enfrenta con prisión, tortura y exilio forzado. Miles de cubanos han sido arrestados por protestar y el gobierno continúa silenciando a la oposición mediante diligencia, acoso y brutalidad. Mientras tanto, el país se encuentra en una crisis económica, con una grave escasez de alimentos, medicamentos y productos de primera necesidad, lo que lleva a muchos al borde de la supervivencia. Estados Unidos ha sido históricamente un faro de refugio para quienes huyen de los regímenes comunistas. El fallo de la Corte Suprema es una traición peligrosa. Pone a más de 500,000 de inmigrantes en riesgo inmediato de deportación, detención y separación familiar. Personas que construyeron sus vidas aquí bajo protección legal. La Corte ignoró los precedentes legales y la dignidad humana y optó por permitir la crueldad en lugar de la justicia. Este fallo será recordado como una mancha vergonzosa en nuestra conciencia nacional. Como hija y nieta nacida en Miami de cubanos que encontraron refugio a principios de la década de los 60, comprendo que cada nueva ola de exilio cubano nos reta a encontrar nuevas maneras de apoyarnos y comprendernos mutuamente, ya sea mediante los vuelos de la libertad, el Mariel, la crisis de los balseros en la década de los 90, o quienes llegaron después del 11 de julio y a través del programa CHNV. Lo que nunca nos hemos negado el uno al otro fue la oportunidad de encontrar una vida mejor. Abandonar a los cubanos que buscan la libertad como otros lo hicieron antes sería una grave injusticia. No podemos abandonarlos ahora. Muchas gracias. Sure. And now I'm very proud to introduce Sylvia Munoz with the Cuban American Women Supporting Democracy, and Elena Munoz.
Hi. My name is Sylvia Munoz. I am a Catholic, Cuban American, and a proud member of the Cuban American Women Supporting Democracy, as well as the Instituto Jesuita Pedro Arrupe and the Miramar Circle of Protection, all organizations that work for immigrants. As you already know, more than 500,000 people from Cuba, Venezuela, Haiti, and Nicaragua are losing their legal status thanks to Trump's order and the Supreme Court's decision. This legal way to enter the United States was instituted precisely because we have a broken immigration system, and it was referred to by the name Humanitarian Parole for a reason. Humanitarian because the 4 countries these people come from are a total mess. Violence without liberties, lacking most basic things needed for survival like food, electricity, or medicine. This order gives ICE a green light to grab these immigrants and deport them to the hell they escaped from in a legal way. As a Cuban American who was welcome and allowed to thrive in this country, I condemn this action by the President and ask all people of goodwill, especially Republicans who believe Trump's promise to deport immigrants did not include their loved ones, to raise your voices in protest and this total disregard for human life. This is an atrocity and must be stopped. Thank you. En español no lo escribí, pero mi nombre es Silvia Muñoz, soy miembro de varias organizaciones pro-inmigrantes. Nada más que quería decirles que el Humanitarian Parole tiene un nombre, Humanitarian, for a reason, por una razón, y es que los 4 países que representan esta orden están en total trágica situación, que no pueden vivir así, sin electricidad, sin comida, sin medicina y por supuesto sin libertad. Les exhorto sobre todo a todos los compañeros cubanoamericanos que ciegamente votaron por este gobierno pensando que sus familiares queridos no iban a ser deportados porque no estaban entre los criminales, que alcen su voz con nosotros para parar esta atrocidad que está pasando hoy. Gracias.
We would like to announce with... What do you see?
Okay, please turn off your phones, please. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Elena Muñoz. I've been working for the past 8 years with immigrants, so I know all kind of situation, every one of them, especially my Cuban friends. And no, I wrote this in Spanish, but if you don't mind, I'm going to say it in Spanish first, and then I'll go to English, because I didn't write it in English because I thought I had to say it in Spanish. No solo el Tribunal Supremo dictaminó inmune al presidente Trump de responsabilidad penal por sus actos oficiales, básicamente poniéndolo sobre la ley, encima de la ley, sino ahora nos ha dado el toque de gracia, permitiendo al presidente a proceder en su plan de determinar la protección que tiene un gran número de inmigrantes a través del programa Libertad Condicional, conocida como Parole. Los cubanos, haitianos, nicaragüenses y venezolanos. Estos tienen serias consecuencias para los 530,000 personas en esta situación. Aunque la sentencia afecta directamente a los mencionados, puede tener consecuencias para otros 500,000 de personas a los que se permitió entrar a Estados Unidos en virtud de la misma disposición de la libertad condicional, entre ellos los ucranianos, afganos y niños de Centroamérica. Estas políticas no son más que un intento de obtener poder político. El Tribunal Supremo era nuestra esperanza para poner control a las ambiciones desmedidas de este presidente, pero nos ha fallado. Estas personas a las que se les ha otorgado el parol no han entrado ilegalmente, ya lo han dicho. El parol ha sido aprobado caso por caso y ha estado sujeto a una revisión de antecedentes penales, background check, y a tener un patrocinador con los medios económicos para hacerse cargo del inmigrante. En resumen, estos inmigrantes han cumplido con las leyes y ahora se ven en peligro de deportación a los países de los que huyeron o a países terceros a donde no conocen a nadie. El programa del parol no fue algo nuevo como Biden. Se le culpa a Biden y a los inmigrantes de todo lo que pasa en el país. Otros presidentes han otorgado parol. Eisenhower ofreció parol a 31,000 húngaros huyendo persecución. Kennedy a 107,000 cubanos a raíz de la revolución comunista. 330,000 entre de Vietnam, Camboya y Laos, y miles de iraníes, y ahora últimamente Biden a los CHNB, que ya sabemos quiénes son. Now, I'm trying to say it in English. So not only the Supreme Court let President Trump not be responsible for his official acts, basically putting him above the law. Now, they went even further, permitting the president to proceed with the plan of the parole to the mentioned Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguans, and Venezuela. This has serious consequences for the 530,000 people in this situation. Although the sentence affects directly these mentioned people, it could have consequences for another 500,000 that were permitted to enter in the United States bajo el parole, under this parole program, among them Ukrainians, Afghans, and children from Central America. These policies, they're not more than an intent to obtain political power. The Supreme Court was our hope for to put some control to the ambition of this president, but they haven't done so. These people that enter have been given parole. They haven't entered illegally. The parole have been approved case by case after a background check, to having a sponsor with the economic means to care for the person. This immigrant have followed the rules, the laws. Now they are in danger of being deported to the countries from where they fled, or to the third country that they don't even know exists. Today are the immigrants. Tomorrow could be any one of us. Like we have seen, I'm not necessarily deported, but we have seen how it happened with other people that don't have the same opinion as the president, or that he defines as the enemy. We have seen it in the lawyers' organization and other people that have been under attack. These policies of the president, followed by his followers, open the door for abuse of power and the racial profiling, the excessive policing, especially in communities of color. The parole program is not something new with Biden, which he's been blamed for everything that happens in the country. Other presidents have granted parole. For example, Eisenhower offered parole to 31,000 Hungarians fleeing persecution. Kennedy, 107,000 Cubans right after the Communist Revolution. 330,000 from Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, and thousands of Iranians, and later Biden with CHNV. This country, little by little, faster than we expected, is becoming a total dictatorship. The Constitution was written to prevent for this happening. Not giving any more power and none of the branches. But we are seeing that one of those branches in this decision by the Supreme Court is demonstrating an alliance with the executive power. Unfortunately, until all these people in this country don't get up to demand justice and go and get out of apathy, working to conserve our democracy, electing people that are capable to lead this country democratically, there is no future for future generations. Thank you.
We have 3 more speakers. So we have 3 more speakers, which we'll be hearing from right away, but we're just going to give a very quick summary in English and in Creole about what some of the themes that we've heard. This is not about Democrats or Republicans or any political affiliation. This is about people of all belief systems, all ideologies coming together. And I'm sure that in this room here, there were probably people who had different paths to get to where we are today. But today, we are here to say that immigrant lives matter, that it is completely unacceptable what is happening. And the call is to reach out to decision makers of both parties, of different walks of decision making, to say this is absolutely unacceptable. And with that, n'a juste ba yon ti résumé pour qui ça nous là et qui ça nous tende jusqu'à présent. Parce que ou tende moun yo sorti dans différents chemins. Moun yo te gen doit gen différentes croyances. C'est pas une question démocrate, c'est pas une question républicaine. Nous là pour nous supporter dignité et respect immigrants. Et raison qui fait ça, c'est parce que vie immigrant comptait, immigrants contribuaient à l'économie. Si immigrants pas là, l'économie, surtout en Floride, n'est pas capable de fonctionner. Et ça sont à cruel pour inviter au monde pendant 2 ans pour venir aux États-Unis. Moun yo qui te suivent tout chemin légal nécessaire pour venir, pour travailler, pour payer taxes, pour supporter les familles, et puis dans mi-temps chemin, on dit nous changer d'idée et nous censés annuler possibilité pour continuer là. Et nous bien contents qu'on avocat qui les fonds légionnaires qui parlait de des promissory l'autre jour, quand il explique si un gouvernement, qu'on engagement, invité au monde sous base d'un programme, mon chambre de ville, il quitte côté le terre, il vient aux États-Unis légalement et puis devant pour même gouvernement ça pour dire non, nous changeons d'idée ou pas carité, c'est base vraiment procès juridique et nous extrêmement déçus pour nous que cour cassation cour suprême prend décision qu'elle prend 7-2 pour lui évacuer décision Talouanité prend injonction juge Talouanité prend injonction et yo mettez plus passer 500 000 immigrants à risque. And with that we are going to pass on to our next speaker. We have 3 more speakers, then we will take questions. We have Tessa Petit, the Executive Director of the Florida Immigrant Coalition. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tessa Petit, Haitian immigrant, Haitian born, very well aware of what members of the Haitian community would face going back to Haiti. I'm also here as an advocate for immigrant rights. I've been doing this work for a while now. And I realize that the logical and sensible messages fall into deaf ears. You have heard from speakers the legality of the decision, the cruelty of the decision, all the messages that should make sense to the administration. But that would be if we were talking to sensible people. I have realized that while we are trying to be politically correct, lives are being torn apart. So here are some realities. The administration's goons told you they would focus on deporting criminals. They lied. Instead, they're deporting innocent people, separating families, traumatizing children. the administration goons told you they would only deport people who entered the United States illegally. Again, they lied. Instead, they're detaining US citizens, they're detaining long-term legal permanent residents, and now those same goons are adding people who are invited to come to this country to their long list of praise. And yes, I call them praise. Because after seeing how they've been treating immigrants throughout the country in the past couple of weeks, particularly the last week, there is no other word to describe what we have become to this administration. Last week's event actually made me think about a movie, The Hunt. That's how disgusting this has become. I could stand here and talk to you about the CHNV parole. I could talk to you about everything that these folks are going to face. But instead, I'm going to talk to you about the reality of not just them, the millions, the hundreds of thousands that they are deporting. And I'm going to talk to you about, because they can't meet a quota, we have become a quota. Because they can't meet their quota, they're making up illegal immigrants.
Right.
Just so they can satisfy an inhumane need to exercise racism, xenophobia, and white supremacy by people who have the power to do it. To the American people, I'm saying this. It's us now. Your turn will come. If you don't look a certain way, you don't talk a certain way, you don't act a certain way, your turn will come. You're allowing precedents that will change your world forever. I come from an absence of democracy. I come from anarchy. I come from dictatorship. I come from authoritarianism. I know what it does. Yes, you've heard us say that we will stand and we will fight for immigrants. But my call now is to the American people. We can't fight this alone. You can't close your eyes to 500,000 people who came here, who were invited to come here, and who are now being identified as criminals. We are human beings. And the 500 CHNV parole holders are just a small piece, because there's also 530 Venezuelans on TPS. There's also another 500,000 Haitians coming up. The decision for Haitian TPS, by the way, is the day after tomorrow. So my call to you, we need help. We need help to make sense out of the nonsense that is happening now. As immigrants, we're asking Americans, stand up with us, because we are your neighbors. We are your colleagues. We're your friends. We're your lovers. Stand up with us. We need you now more than ever, because this has to stop.
Bon, rapidement, en créole, Tessa Petit, directrice exécutive Florida Immigrant Coalition, rappelez-nous que l'ILA sous deux bases. L'ILA sous base que sont haïtiens, qui sortis dans pays vraiment, qui marqués par absence de démocratie. Et également l'ILA, en trois phrases simplement, également l'ILA pour par rapport à plaidoyer nécessaire qu'il a pour immigrants, parce que ce n'est pas seulement Haïti qui est dans cette situation. Ça, en pile dans le pays, il a fait face à situation côté sont cruelles pour oser retourner moun yo dans pays d'origine, gens que situation y est dans pays d'origine yo, et nous rappeler également que faut que nous pas tomber dans piège côté yo vini pour un tel pas dans la même situation avec un tel, yo pas venir pour moi, coin s'ouvre, y a venir pour nous tout. Grain par grain. Donc songez ça. We are very close to wrapping up with our remarks. We would like to invite Florida Rising very quickly to say a few words, followed by the Asian American Federation of Florida. Thank you.
Cool. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sebastian Caicedo. I am the Regional Director for Florida Rising. We are a nonprofit organization that works across the state. First of all, I was born and raised in Colombia. I'm a proud immigrant. And we are here extending our love and solidarity to the over 500,000 members of communities throughout the U.S. who legally came in the past 2 years as part of the Humanitarian Parole program launched by former Biden administration early 2023. Hundreds of thousands of them are here in our state, in the state of Florida, and many of them are here in our county, Miami-Dade County. They have been legally working, paying taxes, supporting their families, and now, based on a cruel Supreme Court decision on May 30th, last Friday, they're facing loss of jobs, work authorization, livelihood, and protection from deportation. With compassion in our hearts and understanding of the critical role that immigrants play in the Florida economy, we will engage in all levels of decision making to reserve this heartless act. And we hope that they will make a change and they will change this. I will say it really quickly in Spanish. Mi nombre es Sebastián Caicedo, soy el director regional de Florida Rising, soy colombiano y soy inmigrante. Representamos a miembros alrededor del estado de la Florida, estoy hablando por parte de ellos ahora. Extendemos nuestro cariño y solidaridad a más de 500,000 miembros de la comunidad en todos los Estados Unidos que llegaron legalmente en los últimos 2 años y medio, como parte del programa de libertad condicional humanitaria, lanzado por la administración anterior del presidente Biden en el 2023. Cientos de miles de ellos se encuentran en el estado de Florida y muchos de ellos viven aquí en nuestro condado, en Miami-Dade County. Han estado trabajando legalmente, pagando sus impuestos y manteniendo a sus familias. Ahora, debido a una cruel decisión de la Corte Suprema del viernes pasado, enfrentan la pérdida de sus empleos, autorización de trabajo, medios de vida y protección contra la deportación. Con compasión en nuestros corazones entendemos el papel crucial que desempeñan los inmigrantes en la economía del estado de la Florida. Involucraremos a todos los niveles que toman decisiones para revertir este acto despiadado. Gracias.
Thank you. And before we introduce our last speaker, we just want to say that we realize because of the media cycles, we want to be respectful of that, and we realize that some of the journalists have to be moving on. And so if, in terms of the Q&A, if maybe you want to do some one-on-ones, that might be more effective in terms of how we're going to go forward with this. Winnie Tang of the Asian American Federation of Florida. And we'll be wrapping up very, very shortly.
Good day, everybody, and my name is Winnie Tang. I'm the Vice President of Asian American Federation of Florida, and which is a statewide organization, and we are also one of the affiliates of the 5 civil rights national Asian American organization in Washington, D.C. And we just think about the decision is to terminating the TPS designation for Haiti is yet another in a long line of attacking on immigrant communities. Stripping more than 55,000 Haitians of temporary status and work authorization will result in family separations and hardship and benefits to no one. And one thing that I want to highlight is like a lot of things we talk about in non-Asian communities. And personally, I know in Florida, we have some of the Chinese have been here for so many years, have a green card, but they also got detained by the ICE. And those cases, I don't think that many people really think about it, hear about it, because those one is not even, we talk about temporary TPS. We talk about those one having a green card. And one of the cases, someone who went to the motor vehicle to renewing the driver license. 2 days later, the ICE is waiting in their driveway to pick up the father. And the whole family is a citizen except the father, have about over 20 years the green cards. So those kind of cases have been happening around the country. This is only in the neighborhood in our communities. So we're really urging the Congress to must act right now to providing a permanent solution of these families and all other recipients of the TPS from the past and the present, and including those people from Nepal, Syria, Yemen, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Sudan, South Sudan, as well as Haitian. We urge the House of the Representatives and Senator to join the bills in Congress to provide relief for these people with the TPS. Following this tragedy event in their home countries, TPS holders have rebuilt their lives in the United States and have become part of our communities. To strip away the protection and the ability of the people to provide for themselves and their families is cruel and goes against our value in these countries. We will continue as Asian Americans stand together and united to fight for our communities to ensure that immigrants and refugees are treated with dignity and respect. Thank you.
And we want to conclude this press conference with 3 very quick announcements. Haiti is coming up for the TPS redesignation, extension, or termination decision. Tomorrow, the 4th, will be 60 days prior to the designation deadline. The Department of Homeland Security is likely to make an announcement. We are fearing the worst if we're looking at the trajectory of Afghanistan and other countries and how they ruled. So you absolutely have to keep Haiti and TPS on your radar screen. We want to thank the efforts of Teolyn Johnson, a community member who has been very, very, very important in the question not only of uplifting immigrant rights and the questions of detention, particularly of the death of Marie Blaise, who was basically died due to negligence of the detention system and ICE in the Broward Transitional Center, and we want to thank her for the efforts that she's made. We also have one of our partners, Americans for Immigrant Justice, who is here, and will just very, very, very quickly, 30 seconds or 1 minute, just very quickly talk about your services, because they are one of the service providers that is absolutely crucial in our community. Very quickly.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Reuni Foston. I'm a staff attorney with Americans for Immigrant Justice. We share the sentiments of all of our colleagues here that the termination of CHMB is an inhumane act that will devastate a lot of families here in South Florida. And we stand here today to say of the 500,000 that are going to be impacted, that we have services available. We've opened up our detention hotline so they can call us at 786-454-8554. There will be those on the line available to talk to family members that may have had someone that came on the CHMB program detained. They can call us, that we can be able to do consultations for them in the detention centers, as well as on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. we have our family defense program that has virtual walk-ins. So family members can call us during that time period. The number is 305-573-1106. Our extension is 8008. Once again, it's 305-573-1106, extension 8008. Family members can contact us there, and we can do legal consultations for any individuals that call us during that 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. time frame. Our last service that we want to bring to the community's attention is our RAISE hotline. That number is 1-888-600-5762. We're using that hotline to monitor ICE activity. If there's any raids, if there's any disturbances that you all may know of, you can contact that hotline to bring that to our awareness, and we can communicate with our lovely community partners here. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, and we want to recognize AIJ's role in the community, and their executive director at the Catalyst Summit last Saturday gave a very important talk about the dangers of the encroachment on immigrant rights. We also want to reach out to Keon Hardeman's office, Commissioner in District 3, and Yannick Jolicoeur, who's been a long-time member of the community and a leader with VEU and other organizations. We're very happy that Commissioner Hardeman's office could be with us. And with that, Yes, the Immigration Summit is June 20th and 21st. It's a 2-day event at the Little Haiti Cultural Center. We have some flyers which we can give to each of the media organs who are here. This is a time to uplift immigrant dignity, immigrant rights, particularly people who are going through a lot of difficulty. We are not having direct impacted parties speak at this press conference today because of the dangers that they are in right now for speaking out. But we are here, we are uplifting their situation, and we really want to make sure on June 20th and 21st that every media organ who is here in the room is aware that that summit is happening. It's about protecting immigrant lives, and clearly the stakes could not be higher right now, and that's just that's happening in just over 2 weeks. So thank you so much for attending, and if you would like to ask individual questions of any of the panel members here, people are available. Sir. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it? No
Yeah,
questions?
we did. Yeah.
No, one-on-one. You can just...
One-on-one.
Paul.
Yeah, my name is